Hello everyone, welcome to Wikipedia World. I am C. Radhika Singhal. In the last class, we discussed few ratios. We also discussed what are the factors that affect the dividend decision. Moreover, in some earlier classes, we even discussed the relationship between the all other decisions like investment, financing, and dividend decision. So let's just do one question regarding dividend decision. When there are various investment opportunities available with the company, the basic funda is the company will only offer those investments which actually gave a return more than the cost. So only when your R, that is return, is more than KO, only those projects the company will opt. Right? Let's discuss this illustration. A Limited has made a profit of rupees 1,20,000. Its gear ratio is 0.4. In last class we discussed what is gear ratio. It is to be maintained. So it has specified that this is the rates of debt and equity. Its cost of capital for debt is 10%, equity is 22%, retained earnings 20%. There are 4 projects under consideration. What amount should be paid as dividend? So funda 1, only those projects will be opted which gave a return more than the cost. So we have to compute to solve this question the cost. What exactly is the cost of all the sources of finance? So the funds required from equity, they are assumed that to be arranged from retained earnings first because that is more cheaper than equity, right? So KO in this case is 10% into 0.4. So capital gear ratio is basically debt upon equity. So the total funds will be 0.4 plus 1, that is 1.4. KO is 17.14. So all those projects which are providing a return more than 17.14 will be accepted by the company, right? So out of A, B, C, D, A and B projects, these 2 projects are giving return of more than 17.14. So company will accept these 2 projects. These 2 projects required an investment of 60,000 plus 50,000, that is 1,10,000. The company has made a profit of rupees 1,20,000. So out of this 1,10,000, the company has to maintain a debt and equity ratio. This has to be maintained. So out of 1,10,000, 31,249 rupees is to be raised by debt. That means 78,751 is to be arranged from equity. Now this amount is to be arranged first from the retained earnings. What is the profit to the company? 1,20,000. So out of 1,20,000, 78,751 could be retained because there is an investment opportunity available with the company, and the balance 41,249 rupees could be distributed as dividend. Perfect. Dividend decision consists of 2 important concepts which are called as theories of dividend, which is basically a relationship between the dividend decision and the value of the firm. So one school of thought which is relevance of dividend, which supports the view that the dividend policy has a bearing on the market price of the share. And the other school of thought is of a belief that dividend decision does not affect the market value of the firm. That means it does not affect the market value of the share of a firm. Let's discuss relevance of dividend theories first. We'll first starting with Walter model. So Walter model, it supports the view that dividend policy has a bearing on the market value of the share. Walter model, it considers a relationship between the dividend decision and the investment decision. So a firm should or should not pay dividend. It depends upon whether it has got suitable investment opportunity to invest the retained earnings or not. This model could be explained as follows. If a firm pay dividend to shareholder, the shareholder will turn invest this income to get some return. The expected return to the shareholder is the opportunity cost to the firm, which is cost of capital, that is KE. if the firm does not pay dividend and instead retain, then these retained earnings will be reinvested by the firm to get return on these investments. The rate of return on these investments of the firm must be at least equal to the cost of capital, that is what the shareholder could have earned if they themselves have invested the amount. At least the company should earn by retaining that amount, right? So if R, that is the rate of return which the company has earned by retaining, is equals to KE, the firm is earning a return just equal to what the shareholders could have earned, so dividend in such a scenario. However, what would happen if the rate of return is more than KE? In such a case, the firm can earn more by retaining the profits than the shareholders could have earned by investing their dividend income. So, in such scenario, Walter suggested that the firm should not declare that income as dividend and instead retain it, because that will increase the wealth of the shareholder. On the other hand, if the investment opportunity before the firm gives less return than their expectation, then instead of retaining that amount, the company should declare that amount as dividend, that should be distributed as dividend, because that will ultimately maximize the earning of the shareholder. That is, if R is less than KE, the amount or the earnings of the business should be distributed to dividends and should not be retained. So Walter suggested that if R is more than KE, then the company should retain all earnings and should not pay any dividend. If R is less than KE, then the company should not retain and 100% should be paid as dividend. And in a scenario where your rate of return is equal to the expectation of the shareholder, then the company pay or do not pay, it does not affect the price of the share. So the Walter model is based on certain assumptions. First, all the investment proposals are financed through retained earnings and there is no external finance which is available to the firm. Second, the business risk of the firm remains constant, that is KE is constant, and the rate of return, that is R and KE, both are constant. The firm has an infinite life. And the last one, that the expectation of the equity shareholders entire earnings of the firm. So they expect that the entire earnings will be distributed to them. They have the expectation on the entire earnings. So in such scenario, KE is equals to EPS upon MPS. So Walter model could be explained as, it could be mathematically, the valuation which is given by Walter model is market value of the share is equals to dividend D plus the difference between that is a retained amount, earning less dividend, whatever the amount that the company has retained, multiply by R, rate of return on the company's investment, divided by the expectation of equity, divided by KE, where KE is equals to EPS upon MPS, or it could be said as 1 upon PE ratio, right? So Walter stated that the current market price of a share, that is P0, is the sum of the capitalized value of dividends and capitalized value of the true value of retained earnings, E minus D. So it's capitalized value. So let's do one illustration to explain the Walter model more. The cost of capital and the rate of return on investment of WM Limited is 10% and 15% respectively. So KE is 10 and R is 15. The company has 1 million equity share of rupees 10 each outstanding and its EPS is rupees 5 per share. Calculate the value of the firm in the following situation. If the company is doing 100% retention, so if the company is earning 5% retention Then in case 1, what is the market price of share using Walter model? Dividend is 0 plus the retained amount, that is 5 rupees. Its capitalized value 0.15, which is the rate of return, divided by KE, and the whole divided by KE. So in such scenario, price of the value of the share will be 75. Situation 2, when company retains 50%. In such scenario, market price of the share will be 62.5 because 2.5 is distributed as dividend and 2.5 is retained. And case 3, when the company do not retain it at all. So in such scenario, the market price of the share is rupees 50. Now what Walter actually advised? If R is more than KE, the company should retain 100% and should not pay dividend. You can see that in case 1, when the company go with Walter's suggestion, the market price of the share is highest. So value of the firm will be whatever the price of the equity share multiplied by the number of shares. So in case 1, which is as per the Walter suggestion, the market value of the firm is highest, that is 75 million, as compared to the other two scenarios. Now there's one more illustration to explain better. As per the annual report of ABC Limited, the company has a net profit of 30 lakh rupees. There are outstanding 12% preference share of 100 lakh. Number of equity share is 3 lakh and the return of investment is 20%. What should be the approximate dividend payout ratio so as to keep the share at rupees 42 by using Walter model? So what exactly is the earning per share of the company? Let's go back to the question again. Net profit is 30 lakhs. Out of this, there is outstanding 12% preference share. So first is preference share dividend to be paid. So the earning available to equity shareholder is 30 lakh less 12% of 100 lakhs, which is 18 lakhs. Number of shares are 3 lakhs. So earning per share is rupees 6 per share. R is 20%. P0 or the market price of the share is rupees 42. Based on Walter assumption that the equity shareholder expects the complete earnings, KE will be EPS upon NPS, which is 6 divided by 42, 14.29%. Using Walter mathematical valuation model, the market price of the share, which is already given, is 42, equals to D plus 6 minus D, because we have to find out how much dividend to be paid if the company has to maintain 42 as its market price. Dividend comes out to be 6 rupees. That's all for today. In the next class, we are going to discuss other model